He was handsome, he was charming, he was a law student who volunteered at a suicide prevention hotline. But Ted Bundy was one of America's most brutal serial killers, responsible for at least 30 murders. This is the story of how a trusted face became America's nightmare. Theodore Robert Bundy was born in 1946 in Burlington, Vermont. His early life was marked by deception from the very beginning. For years, he was told that his grandparents were his parents, and his mother was actually his older sister. This family secret would haunt him throughout his life. Growing up in Tacoma, Washington, Bundy appeared to be a normal, even exceptional young man. He was intelligent, articulate, and ambitious. He excelled in school and was known for his good looks and charm. But beneath this perfect exterior, whispering something dark was developing. As a teenager, Bundy began exhibiting disturbing behavior. He would sneak out at night, peer through windows, and steal things. These weren't just pranks, they were early warning signs of a developing predator, but no one noticed. Or, if they did, they dismissed it as typical teenage rebellion. In the early 1970s, Bundy's life seemed to be on track. He was attending the University of Washington studying psychology. He had a girlfriend, he was volunteering at a suicide prevention hotline, ironically helping people in crisis. He even worked on political campaigns, impressing everyone with his dedication and intelligence. But in 1974, everything changed. Young women began disappearing across Washington state. They would vanish without a trace, often in broad daylight from crowded public places. The victims all fit a specific profile: young, attractive women with long hair parted in the middle. What made these disappearances even more terrifying was the method. Bundy would often approach his victims pretending to be injured or disabled, wearing a fake cast or using crutches. He'd ask for help carrying books or loading something into his car. His charm and wholesome appearance made him seem trustworthy. No one suspected that behind that friendly smile was a calculated predator. Bundy's crimes weren't confined to one location. He moved from state to state, leaving a trail of missing women across the Pacific Northwest. Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, each state would report similar cases. Young women disappearing, often from college campuses or shopping areas. The police in different jurisdictions didn't initially connect these cases. This was before modern databases and instant communication between law enforcement agencies. Bundy exploited this gap perfectly. He was intelligent enough to know that crossing state lines would complicate investigations. His hunting grounds were carefully chosen. College campuses gave him access to his preferred victims: young, educated women. Lake Sammamish State Park in Washington became one of his most brazen hunting grounds. In one single day in July 1974, he approached multiple women in broad daylight, in front of crowds. 2 women disappeared that day. Witnesses remembered a handsome young man calling himself Ted, who had his arm in a sling. In August 1975, Bundy was finally pulled over by police in Utah. When officers searched his car, they found suspicious items: handcuffs, a ski mask, rope, and an ice pick. He was arrested, and for the first time, police began connecting the dots. But even in custody, Bundy's intelligence and charm worked in his favor. He was allowed access to the law library at the courthouse because he was representing himself, and that's when he made his first escape. He jumped from a second-story window and was free for 6 days before being recaptured. His second escape was even more dramatic. By then, he had been extradited to Colorado to face murder charges. In December 1977, Bundy lost weight, studied the jail's layout, and literally sawed a hole in the ceiling of his cell. He crawled through the ductwork and escaped into the night. This time, he headed to Florida, where he would commit his final, most brutal crimes. The escapes weren't just about freedom, they showed his complete lack of remorse and his belief that he was smarter than everyone else. In Florida, Bundy was free and desperate. On January 15, 1978, he broke into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University. In less than 15 minutes, he attacked 4 women, killing 2. The brutality was unprecedented even for Bundy. Later that same night, he attacked another woman in a different location. 3 weeks later, he abducted and murdered his final victim, 12-year-old Kimberly Leach. This crime would ultimately seal his fate. He was caught days later driving a stolen vehicle, and this time, the evidence against him was overwhelming. The Florida crimes were different. They were more violent, more desperate, and more reckless. It was as if Bundy had completely lost control, or perhaps he had finally revealed his true nature. Ted Bundy's trial became a media sensation. It was one of the first trials to be nationally televised. Bundy, acting as his own attorney, played to the cameras. He was articulate, confident, and seemed to enjoy the spotlight. Many viewers found themselves disturbingly drawn to his charm, unable to reconcile the handsome, intelligent man on screen with the horrific crimes he was accused of. The evidence was undeniable. Bite marks on one victim matched Bundy's teeth perfectly. The jury took less than 7 hours to find him guilty. He was sentenced to death. For years on death row, Bundy maintained his innocence, but as his execution date approached, he finally began confessing. He admitted to 30 murders, though investigators believe the real number could be much higher. He described his crimes in disturbing detail, showing no genuine remorse, only a desire to delay his execution by providing information. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in Florida's electric chair. Outside the prison, crowds gathered, some cheering. His death didn't bring back his victims, but it ended the terror. Ted Bundy's case changed America forever. Ted Bundy's case changed America forever. It shattered the myth that serial killers always look like monsters. It showed that evil can hide behind a charming smile and a college degree. It taught law enforcement to look beyond appearances and to better coordinate across jurisdictions. But most importantly, it reminded us to trust our instincts. Many of Bundy's victims felt something was off, but ignored that feeling because he seemed so normal, so trustworthy. The victims of Ted Bundy were daughters, sisters, friends, young women with their entire lives ahead of them. Their stories deserve to be remembered, not just as victims of a monster, but as individuals whose lives were stolen far too soon. If you want to see more deep dives into cases that changed criminal justice, hit that subscribe button. These stories matter. These victims deserve to be remembered, and understanding how these crimes happen helps us prevent them in the future. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay aware, trust your instincts, and never forget the victims.